This Canadian man lived and left Ghana 1996, and today he is back to appreciate Ghanaians and motherland for what they have done to him. Guys, this video is really so emotional. You need to see how Ghanaians welcomed him with so much love and with so much joy in their heart. Guys, I know you can't wait to watch this video. Let's get right into this amazing video, and please like this video and share this video. Let's get right into the video.
Thank you. Thank you to the people here. You didn't have to welcome me. You did. You took me in as your own. You named me. And you do it again. And thank you to the elders and the ancestors who have welcomed me again. Right. This is a beautiful thing. How can I not take these things home? I took them home in 96. The path forward, I'm not sure now, but I will carry this. So thank you.
Feel to be in Ghana?
Wow, it's really quite incredible. I was here, as you know, in 1996, so that was 30 years ago, and the return has really felt like a homecoming.
Special one.
So I came here in 1996 with an organization called One World Global Education, and at the time it was a really progressive organization that wanted to introduce Canadians to people throughout the world that live differently, and was unique in that so many organizations go with a mindset that we know better.
Right.
And this they challenged dramatically. Our goal wasn't to come to Ghana and teach or to say we know better or anything like that. Our goal as the organization was to come and learn, to learn from, and to allow that to change us.
Wow.
So that's where it started.
I see. It's been a different story for many others, who come in here. They come to, teach, they come to take and do whatever they want to do. But in your case, it's different. You are coming here to learn.
Yes.
What was the purpose of doing that?
I think that we don't create a world that we want unless we do that kind of thing. I think it's critically important that we learn from each other. And if I bring a mindset that I already know better, I'm going to limit my capacity to growth. I'm going to limit your capacity to growth. I'm going to limit the capacity that we can grow together. So I think that mindset is an old mindset that we need to challenge. And sadly, a mindset that it still exists, but limits us. So that was the whole intent of the organization.
Even before you came to Ghana, back then in 1996, what are some of the things you heard about Africa? And when you heard the news that you were coming down to Africa, what was running through your mind?
Oh, you're bringing me back. Okay, so at that time, the major things that we would see about Africa were put together by an organization called World Vision. And their intent was to do positive things on the continent. But it was often young children, bloated stomachs, in the depths of poverty. And we know that existed and still exists, but it's not the whole story. And so I had to work through some of that, right? Because when the media gives you an expectation of what you're going to see, and then you see different things, you've got to work that through. And that was an incredibly important thing for me. So too many assumptions are made when that is your only insight. And at the time, we didn't have social media, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have any of those things. So the reality is, if you came, you were here. In fact, over the 6 months that I spent in Ghana, in 1996, 97, I had one phone call home.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's a different time. It's a different time.
Yeah. Okay, so when you came into Africa, with all the things you've seen on TV and all of that, what are some of the things that, caught your attention? That, okay, this is a different place. This is not what we've heard. There are more to this place than, than we watch or we heard out there. What are some of the things that, caught your attention?
To be honest, at first, so much was going on, so much for me was different that I couldn't fully appreciate it all. So to me, I would speak about it in terms of layers, right? Some things would surprise me. It could be the way traffic functions, the language itself, the cultural ways, like all of those things were new to me. And I was a stranger. And it took me time to start to appreciate the fact that there's so many layers. Once you start to get used to a few things, you see more and more and more. And so, for example, like even this time, at the return, it's been 30 years. So some of my knowledge is lost, but some of it's coming back. But what's interesting is just say here in Osu, I'm going around and around, and it took me a week before I figured out where to find Kili Willie. right? And this was something I had to do because it was a memory embodied, right? And but it took me a week, but it's just here, right? But the thing is, when so much is new, you can't see it all at once. So you need to take time to appreciate it, and as you appreciate more and more, you get to see more and more.
Right.
So that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah, let's talk about your homecoming. It's still on your homecoming, I should say. I saw a video on TikTok where you shared photos of you visiting in 1996 and then you coming back to meet some of the people who got us blessed and are still alive. You went around to meet these people. Tell me about the reconnection.
Sure. So I'd love to, by the way, and I'm really enjoying this chat. Thank you. I'll separate it into two different experiences because the North and then Accra. So the homecoming in the North was extraordinarily beautiful. I arrived back in Cheshire. The person who essentially took me on as his son was named Jafo, and he's now the chief of Cheshire, Zuna. And so we went to greet Zuna, and that was a beautiful experience. And to introduce Sarah, and Zuna gave her a Dagbani name. She became Suyini. And so that was all a really beautiful process. And like I said, that dream coming true of sharing this with Sarah. Also, there were a number of elders in that community that really did a lot of caretaking for me. And some of them had passed. And so I went to visit their graves, and as is appropriate, gave a contribution of which goes to their grandchildren. So I remember after I had visited a particular elder named Awisi, I went to bed that evening and I had a dream. Awisi visited me in my dream.
Wow.
Yeah. When I was here in 1996, at one point he provided me with a cloth that he wrapped me in to go to a funeral. And in my dream, he visited me because he knew that I had again been invited to a funeral this time.
Okay.
And he brought a cloth and he wrapped me in that cloth.
Wow.
And then we laughed together and just enjoyed each other's presence. I shared this with the people of Cheshire the next day, and they're like, "Oh, Awisi had visited you." And I could tell you so many things about my time in Cheshire that were absolutely beautiful.
Right.
The time with the Isifu family that hosted me, seeing the young boy, now a man. There was Veronica, who was born while I was there. I'm now having conversations with. It's mind-blowing.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just so mind-blowing. So there's so many beautiful stories. But I'll share this one. On my last day in Cheshire, we wanted to thank everyone for the wonderful hosting that we had received. And I was so incredibly honored. I was in the Isifu family home, and the elders came, and they wrapped me in a cloth.
Wow. Wow.
And they led me out into the community. And we drummed and we danced. Wow. I want to say thank you.
Yeah.
I know I'm getting emotional here.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
I want to say thank you. Thank you to the people here. You didn't have to welcome me. You did. You took me in as your own. You named me. And you do it again. And thank you to the elders and the ancestors who have welcomed me again.
Right.
This is a beautiful thing. How can I not take these things home? I took them home in 96. The path forward, I'm not sure now, but I will carry this. So thank you.
Wow. This is very interesting.
So there's another story I'll share.
Yeah.
Also another beautiful one. I kept in touch with the people in the North. And we'd write letters to each other and what have you, which is great. But I lost touch with the family that I lived with in Accra. There was a wonderful woman who really saved me in so many ways. At the age of 19, I had this great idea, like any teenager who has no disregard, has so much disregard for risk, right?
Yeah.
And I went from Tamale on my own to Accra with very little plans. All I knew is I wanted to volunteer with street children. So I take the bus overnight, takes 12 hours, and I arrive. And I find the place that I can volunteer at. And I'm like, right on. And they'll take me.
Wow.
And they say, but you'll have to find a place to stay. well, okay, don't quite know how to do that. And so I'm sitting on the front step of the Catholic Action for Street Children,
Okay.
and I'm just wondering, okay, what do I do now? And a car pulls up, and out of this car pops Sister Bernadette, the only human being I knew in Accra.
Okay.
She didn't know I was coming. She didn't know I was there. And of all of Accra, she shows up at that moment in that place. And she looks at me and she says, Pascal. And I'm like, Sister Bernadette, oh my gosh. And so we chat a little bit. I'm like, oh, I'm going to volunteer here and all this sort of stuff. And she says, oh, well, where are you staying?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, long story short, she said, why don't you stay with my family? And
Just like that.
Just like that. And I was like, I'd be delighted. And so her family welcomed me in. And I stayed with her family, and I'd take the Trotro down to Arena Station and walk up and spend my time with street kids and all that sort of stuff, and then go back and what have you. And that was my time. But I lost touch with them. And 30 years is a funny thing for your memory. So all I remembered is Arena Station and Flamingo. Okay? But I don't know what that means. Like, I started looking online to be like, how do I find them again? Because I'm going to physically be there. We'll see. And it was a great deal of research, because you can't look up Flamingo and it doesn't pop up online. And so anyway, it took me till here. I was going on Street View, all this sort of stuff. I think I found them. The building looks similar, but it now says it's a school.
Okay.
And I'm like, why not go anyway? So Sarah and I head there, and I'm walking up to the building, and I see this fella on the balcony, and I go like this, because I'm like, I know this face. I know this face. And he says, Pascal. And I'm like, Eric.
Okay.
Just like that. What I was surprised about is that the woman who hosted me, Nana, Sister Bernadette's mom, unfortunately, let me say this, is that Sister Bernadette died a number of years ago, way too young. And that's in part why I lost contact. Sister Bernadette's mom was still alive, is still alive, 94 years old. So here I am sitting with her, and it's one of those times in life that are so beautiful. You don't really have words, and yet the words don't matter. Just being with her, wow, incredible. So we spent that time, but I couldn't help but think there's a fella missing, Kofi, who was 7 years old at the time, Sister Bernadette's son. And but we found him too. Got on the phone with him, and what a shock. Last time I saw this guy, he was 7. And now I'm talking to a man. Yeah. But we see each other again, we give each other this wonderful embrace. I feel really blessed.
Yeah.
Really blessed by this. And it's nice to connect again and to feel that again.
You know, myself, I'm beginning to understand why you say Ghana has changed you.
Yeah.
And why it is important for you to come back and, reconnect